Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know me, I am the Mark of the Masses, the man with a plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some WWE Hell in the Cell 2014 today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by two of my good friends, co-host of the Pro Wrestling Hustle podcast. You can find them on Podbeam or on iTunes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have my brother A-Track Brown and my good friend Billy Ray Valentine. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? What's going on?
Out there?
Pay-per-view was cool.
All right, so overall, I think the pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen out there, was actually a good pay-per-view. We're going to get into each match. We're going to get into an in-depth discussion about the pay-per-view. More or less, the thing I didn't like was the finish of the main event, but we're going to get into that, and I want to hear your opinions on that. Lou?
I didn't like it either. You want to save it for the end? But I mean, overall, I didn't like the ending, man. I thought there should have been a definitive winner to the match, and I didn't like Bray Wyatt's involvement. But that's just me. I mean, right. I know they're spinning off to Wyatt versus Ambrose, and that may be cool. But
again, that's something we're gonna get into. We're totally gonna get into it at the end of this recording. Now, A-Track. Overall, what do you think of the pay-per-view?
I thought it was okay. I was soured at the beginning, and I was soured at the end. So overall, it lost me.
Okay.
It lost me, and I was hurt by it. I really was.
You were hurt by it, so he was emotionally scarred by the pay-per-view. Now, again, my opinion, I thought the pay-per-view was actually pretty good, except for the end of the pay-per-view. But we're gonna jump into the beginning. We'll jump into the beginning of the pay-per-view, which was the pre-show, and that was Bo Dallas, actually Bo Washington, because he says that he didn't want to have his name affiliated with the town of Dallas, Texas, where they were shooting the pay-per-view, and he faced Mark Henry in what was a squash match. A-Track, tell me about this match, my friend.
Well, basically, it was what it was. I don't know what they're doing with Bo Dallas. They gotta, he started off really good, and they just killed his momentum. And, Mark Henry's Mark Henry. So he's going to play his role. He's going to do what he has to do. I overall felt that, Bo Dallas should have been in a better spot than this. It really didn't do anything for me because the way he's been treated. And just like any other performer or entertainer, sports entertainer, I'll say wrestler, but any other wrestler you get out there and you kill his momentum, nobody's going to give a damn about his match. Just like I didn't really give a damn. It was good to see him. I like to hear him talk. But, when it comes to him performing, it's like, all right, just get this thing over with and move on to the next one.
Hey, what do you think, Billy Ray?
About the same, man. They killed this guy for me. I used to be I'm still a believer, man. They could still do something with him, but
me too.
They killed his momentum, and I don't really know why, and it screws with me every time I see it. It kind of upsets me.
All right, well, I definitely agree with you guys. Just really quickly to give the finish of the match. Well, it wasn't much of a match, but basically Mark Henry came out, beat the living crap out of Bo Dallas, and then he basically pinned him, hit him with the World's Strongest Slam, and that was it. Then after the match, I thought it was pretty funny how Bo, and again, I agree with you, A-Track, that I love hearing him on the mic. I love hearing him talk. And he gets on the mic after the match, and he's like, I'm 5-0 against you. What is it? What was it that he said that he cheated and some other garbage?
He's I can't even remember. I wasn't really into it. Right. When that match was on, I was running back and forth to the refrigerator.
Very good. So
that's what I was doing.
It's what I call the bathroom break match.
The sick pit bull over here. So I also took the time to make sure that he was okay. I'm trying to get this dog to eat.
Right. All right. Well,
it could have been like if he was at a higher plateau. First of all, he should have won. That's first and foremost. To put Mark Henry over,
right.
I guess it builds up to what they're doing later, and we'll discuss what happened there. But it's like, man, do it to somebody else. Why are you doing it to this guy who you're trying to build? And it came out not too long ago that Vince McMahon wasn't even that big of a fan, which. It's funny. It's like you give birth to a kid, and you see the kid, how the kid is, and after a while, you're like, you know what? I don't really like you right now.
Right.
So well, I'll just let your mother deal with you.
I mean, if you look at Bo Dallas and you look at his physique and so on and so forth, he's not really Vince McMahon's, let's just say, type. If that makes any sense. So, I mean, again, that's my opinion. All right, let's move on. Now, this is a match that I actually really, really enjoyed. I thought it was an excellent match between Dolph Ziggler and Antonio Cesaro. Oh, I'm sorry, just Cesaro was a 2 out of 3 falls match, and this match did not go the way I thought. I actually thought Cesaro would actually take the IC title. A-Track, you look to be a little, let's just say, set.
This is where they lost me. This is where I got soured. First of all, the match was just awesome. These guys are some of the top performers on the main roster right now, and you look forward to seeing this because you know they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna pull out all the stops. They're gonna like try to steal the show, if you will, and just basically give the people exactly what they want. And these were two guys who organically got over with the people. And for Cesaro, it's kind of messed up because he was becoming the second Daniel Bryan. He was somebody who was getting over, not to the extent that Daniel Bryan was, but it was getting there. Like he was going to be the next guy that the people got behind. Even if Punk didn't leave, he was the next in line. So what they do is they take away his big swing, which ultimately kind of killed him with the crowd because that's what they liked. They loved it when he did that tonight. They lost their mind. It was like, oh snap, it's back. So to see how the match ended, it didn't play well with me. I loved the European uppercut that he does. Dolph Ziggler was just on top of his game like he always is. As corny as he can be on the mic and his charisma is not the best in that ring, he's just you can't really like. There's not a lot of people right now on the main roster that I would put over on him. There's a few, but not a lot. I didn't like the end at all. I don't understand why they did it like that.
Go ahead, Lou.
I actually dug it. You know what? First off, the match was excellent. I think it was the best match of the night, personally. That didn't have any gimmicks around it. And a lot of people had issues with that Ziggler went over twice. I mean, straight,
yes.
Back to back. Cesaro didn't get a win, and I actually like that, and I like it for a couple of reasons. First off, it makes Ziggler look strong, which is something he had coming for a while now. Because Ziggler's been a joke for a long time, and now it kind of solidifies him as a real intercontinental champion. You haven't everybody who gets that belt just loses automatically. Dolph Ziggler now is a legit intercontinental champion, beats Cesaro twice in a row, makes him kind of strong. So I kind of dug the booking of it. I dug the match. The match was crazy, and he hit him with the zigzag, pinned him. It was over. It was a good match. And I like the booking. I like that he won twice. Maybe they'll do something, some momentum. He can be an actual intercontinental champion that raises the level of that belt.
What bothered me about the ending was the two straight falls. Now you said that it makes Ziggler look strong, which is true. I just felt that he still could have looked strong if it would have gone 1-1. Say Cesaro got the first pin and he got the second two straight because it shows, the heart of a champion. Right. So it could have went either way. Now, Cesaro, my problem with it is because I guess maybe you could say I favor Cesaro more than Ziggler and because, just the dude that he is in the ring. He's a man's man, plain and simple. Right. He's somebody that, you look at and you go, this guy. If you show him to an average fan or a casual fan or somebody who's not a fan, and they see Cesaro, they're going to be like, wow, this dude is real. So I think it made him look extremely weak.
Right.
And, I hope they make Ziggler a real good Intercontinental champion like they would back in the 90s. But this belt seems cursed. You can win in the pay-per-view, but Monday Night Raws and main events and SmackDowns, that's where you lose. And I understand that it was supposed to make Ziggler look strong, but I felt that both of them could have came out looking strong. When you have a guy like Cesaro, who people don't question his skills, lose twice in a row, it kills him. Momentum killing.
Now listen,
I have to have that as a pay-per-view. Momentum kill.
I definitely respect your opinion. I mean, my opinion on this is, I was happy that they didn't go because I actually went into this match and I said, all right, so Ziggler's going to win the first fall, Cesaro's going to win the second fall, and then I thought Cesaro would win the third fall. I thought Cesaro was taking the title. But I was happy to see them do something different. And I don't think Cesaro looked. I mean, he lost both falls, but he didn't look weak. I mean, he pulled off some big moves.
Yeah.
He looked impressive. He pulled off the giant swing, which for me, and I'm gonna ask you, Lou. I have a feeling the WWE is gonna go away from this Antonio Cesaro heel thing, because I see the giant swing coming back. He's used it more than once over the last couple of weeks. He's still over with the fans, so I think this feud, or whatever the hell this is over between those two for now. I honestly think that they're gonna start maybe moving in that baby face. What do you think, Lou, with Cesaro?
Well, the reason they took away the giant swing initially was because they wanted to turn him heel. They didn't want the people to get behind him. They want him to be a legit heel. So the fact that they're giving it back to him leads me to believe that there might be a face turn, which is, I think, a long time coming. I think he'll do good in it. So I agree with you. I think that's what's going to happen.
All right, so we don't have much time. We're going to quickly move along to the next match. We have we have Brie Bella and Nikki Bella in the personal assistant match. Now, listen. Right off the bat, I couldn't give a damn about this match. This match, I could not give a rat's ass about.
Are you insane? This was the match of the night.
Yeah, the match of what night? The match of a horrible night.
Of two nights.
Of 2 nights. No, but
it was awesome.
Let me say something. All right, first and foremost, they weren't horrible.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't give a damn about the match. And the fact is, we have Brie Bella, who's definitely riding, I mean, with all due respect, riding the coattails of her husband. And then we have Nikki Bella, who I think is a hell of a lot better than her sister right now in the ring and in every way. She looks like a legit superstar. Now let me just really quickly, Nikki Bella did go over her sister with she hit her with that torture rack drop, whatever the hell it's called, and that finisher. And now Nikki Bella will be her personal assistant. Now I don't give a damn about this match. I really didn't. The build-up, they lost me with all the horrible acting. Again, this is my opinion. So, Billy Ray, what do you think?
It's called the Rack Attack, by the way.
Yeah, the Rack Attack. Yeah.
Hey, listen, man.
Original.
It's not a bad name when you think about it.
The match was supposed to be.
I'm sure you would. So would I.
It was supposed to be really bad, and so my expectations were really low going into it. And I thought it was a really physical match, for one. I might get buried for this, but I thought it was a physical match. I actually enjoyed the match. And, of course, Nikki has to win because, everybody hates Brie Bella. First off, that is the worst theme music in the history of the WWE. Without a doubt, the worst thing I've ever heard. And we just mentioned on the podcast this weekend that Brie Bella may be the worst performer in WWE history, man. She's really bad. She is insanely bad, and I challenge anyone to find someone worse. And not any gimmicks that were meant to be bad. I mean, just straight up bad performance.
Are you talking about in ring, or are you talking about her acting?
Dude, I'm talking about the total package, all right? In ring, she's okay. First off, she needs to stop doing anything that resembles anything that Daniel Bryan does, because in my opinion, it brings Daniel Bryan down.
Ooh.
Okay, this association between her and Bryan is not good for Bryan. Okay, the worst actress I have ever seen.
She's so bad in general makes Bryan look bad.
Yeah, the worst actress I've ever seen. She can't sell a line. Right. I mean, it's just not good. That's it.
Oh, all right. All right. So I want to move on from this, but if you have anything to say, A-Track, about this match.
I just enjoyed watching Nikki bounce.
Yes. Nikki bounced. Nikki bouncing was probably one of the best parts of the match, and her rack attack is quite impressive.
When you see, when the thing is, here's one thing I'll say. When you hear the loser of this match becomes the other one's servant, you already know who's gonna lose.
Yeah.
You already know. Like
it wouldn't be interesting if the baby face went over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like it's not like I was gonna be shocked. I do give Brie props for that suicide dive. She did a good job for pulling that out, and I give her props. There was a few good spots, but overall it was just like, I don't care. You're no knockouts. That's for damn sure.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the WWE Tag Team Championship match, and this was, in my opinion, a good match. We had the Usos versus the Dust Brothers. Now, again, I got to tell you, man, really, I always enjoy watching these two teams go at it. But I do think that this feud needs to end. I think the WWE needs to bring up the Ascension, and I think that should be the next team. It would be tough because they're heels. I guess the Ascension would be heels, but they need to bring up a tag team, maybe Kalisto and Sin Cara, anybody to face these guys. And why don't you tell us what happened and how did the Dust Brothers go over the Usos, Billy Ray Valentine?
It was a lot of back and forth. A lot of back and forth. The Dust Brothers actually dominated a lot of it. A lot of quick tags in and out. But there was one spot where the Usos kind of took advantage and claimed the momentum, and they did a double superplex.
Superplex, right?
In stereo, like Joey Styles used to say back in the day, ECW. And that was a nice spot. But at the end, pretty much what happened was I think one of the Usos was going for a Samoan drop, and Stardust.
Your favorite, by the way.
Yeah.
Your favorite move.
Stardust kicked the Uso in the back of the knee, Jey Uso, and Goldust took advantage of that, pinned him, and that was it. It was a wrap. They tried to make it seem like it was some underhanded thing that he did, which in really it didn't even come off that way. But it was a good match.
Oh, he hit him with
It wasn't Usos versus Wyatts, which is classic. It wasn't that, but it was good.
Hit him with the final cut for the win. Anything to say before we move on, A-Track?
No, I thought the match was good. I don't get surprised when I get a good match out of those four. I will say that I know a lot of people do not like the whole Dust Brothers angle, but I will say this: as much as I don't like it, Goldust is Goldust, and Cody Rhodes is that guy. Well, they'll give him anything, no matter if it's good or bad, and he does a good job. Which is the basis of being in the sports entertainment industry, because let's be honest, as much skills as you have in the ring, that might not count for anything. A lot of times they just want to see how a guy carries himself with a gimmick, and he does the gimmick well. He plays it off nice, and if you can't make an adjustment to the things that they give you, then you don't deserve to be there. So, it's always good to see him in the ring doing his thing. And I love the fact that with every different gimmick they've given him, be it this one, the mustache one they had for him, the whole American Psycho thing he did, he was like the debonair or dashing Cody Rhodes. Always had a different moveset. You don't get the same Cody Rhodes when they switched up his gimmick. And I think that speaks volumes for this dude.
Well, let's just hope it pays off. Let's just hope it pays off.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I hope Vince sees what I see.
Right. And I think we all see Cody Rhodes potentially being a world heavyweight champion down the road.
That would be real nice.
It's gotta happen. They can't drop the ball.
He's so good. He's definitely so good. All right, so guys, we have Randy Orton versus John Cena in Hell in a Cell. Now, I'm gonna give my opinion on this really quickly. And then I'm going to go around the table here, and I'm going to ask you guys for your opinions on this match. Now, overall, I didn't think this match was horrible. Now, the only problem I had was there was no need for a damn cell, because they didn't really do anything with the cell that you needed to put these guys in a cell. I don't know if that makes any sense. For that, they should have just did a no disqualification or Texas Death Match. They should have did one of those matches where you have to touch each freaking turnbuckle. You know what I'm saying? What was it like the dog collar match? Anything. I mean, jeez. All right, really quickly. John Cena almost basically gets punted in the head, so Randy Orton brings that back. John Cena goes for, I think, his second attitude adjustment, and Randy Orton actually counters, hits him with the RKO. Another double two count, back and forth. These guys are going. Basically, at the end of the match, John Cena was able to land a super duper attitude adjustment off the second rope into the table that was placed in the ring for the 1, 2, 3. So John Cena is now, surprise, the number one, you can't see me, contender for Brock. Isn't it funny? The winner gets the Beast incarnate, A-Track Brown. Who is it?
Brock Lesnar.
Exactly. So, all right, I'm gonna go to Billy Ray Valentine first, and I want A-Track Brown to give his opinion of this match. Again, overall, I thought the match was okay. It was a good match. It wasn't bad. It's just they didn't need to put it in the cell. Billy Ray.
I thought the match was boring. You know what? Randy Orton, in my opinion, carried this match. The best spots were when he pulled RKOs out of his ass. You know, those were awesome spots.
Oh, like when Cena did the attitude adjustment.
Yeah,
wow, hey, I had to tweet that. That was actually one of my favorite. I never thought he could. Great reversal. I can't even talk about it. But anyway, go ahead, Billy Ray. I'm sorry.
And you know, this is what we come to expect from Randy Orton. He does stuff like this, you know. But my all-time favorite spot of this match was the 5-knuckle shuffle on the steel steps. You know, come on. Like, why do you do that on the steel steps? What extra effect does it give the 5-knuckle shuffle?
The back of his head hits the steel steps.
Oh, that's what it is. I didn't even think of that.
But you know, he didn't even do this.
No,
we missed that part. I think he did this. We didn't get this, or did he do this? I don't know what he did. He just kind of. Anyway,
but you know what?
Sorry.
At least they knew that you know they didn't make it into a main event, which I was shocked because it's Cena. Cena closes out every show, so that was shocking for one. But it wasn't shocking that John Cena won because they're gonna do Cena Lesnar 3, which is actually Cena Lesnar 4, but we're supposed to forget about the other one. I think the match was just okay. I was bored, and Orton made it better for me. That's it. A-Track.
All right.
One word, Orton. I should say one name, Orton. That is all. Cena is trash. This dude is doodle chips to the highest level. I am sick and tired of seeing this dude win for no reason. For no reason. It was supposed to go, Randy Orton wins, turns heel on Monday night, faces Brock Lesnar.
Turns face on Monday.
Turns face, excuse me. Turns face. And then meets Brock Lesnar and then loses. But no, that's too good for the WWE. Everything has to go according to the Cena plan. And at the end of the day, I'm not even blaming Cena. I'm blaming that old wizard, Vince. The man has lost his marbles. He has gone out to lunch. I can't. Listen, you don't know the words that I want to use right now. I'm sure you have an idea, but I'm not. It's just horrible. I'm sick of this. John Cena is making me hate children. Do you know what that means? I'm a father. I don't let my daughter watch wrestling because I don't want her rooting for John Cena. She will spend a lifetime in her room for that. I'm so sincere when I say that. I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of him. I was hoping, and I spoke to Billy Ray earlier. I said to him, if this is the last match, I'm not watching it. I will completely be honest and admit that I didn't watch the match because I didn't want to see it again. You know, the what do you call it? The RKO spots, awesome. You know, and I'm at the point now where, you know, it's RKO spots versus the diamond cutter spots. But this dude, man, I can't.
Somehow I sense that you're not being completely honest and forthright about your feelings about this match. Big Ray.
I got to tell you right off the bat, I understand where you're coming from, A-Track Brown, regarding John Cena and always winning, so on and so forth. And I got to be honest, man. I honestly thought that they were going to have Randy Orton go over. I said to myself, you know, this is the opportunity, like you thought, to turn this guy babyface because he's basically being supported by the fans. The fans seem to be really behind him. Again, the WWE have been promoting those vines that are hilarious. If you don't know what vines are, guys, just Google it. I mean, those Randy Orton vines are hilarious. And I don't even know what to say, man. I mean,
I'm sorry. Did you notice that Michael Cole was made sure he sold from out of nowhere? From out of nowhere, he made sure he did that. Like,
Yes, he
he
did.
put so much emphasis on it. It was trying to be his version of Jim Ross, like, my God, good God Almighty. But, you know, I saw that. It was like, Jesus. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. Jesus has nothing to do with this one, but okay. So John Cena is now the #1 contender. Now I'm gonna ask you guys really quickly. Where does this Cena Lesnar does Cena win? Do you think he goes over Brock Lesnar, or do you think like where's this storyline going?
Lesnar wins. Lesnar wins. Lesnar wins, and that's it. Lesnar goes to WrestleMania with that belt. I don't know how he wins. I don't know if he wins clean, which he should. He should beat Cena clean. I don't see them going that route, but Lesnar wins, goes to WrestleMania.
All right, A-Track.
I'm fearful that Cena might win. But, you know, it's going along with the story. I would say that Lesnar wins. Maybe Rusev, because I'm telling we all know this is happening. Unless Kurt Angle makes some surprise appearance, Rusev is still Cena food.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna make a picture with a can of Rusev, and it's gonna be called Cena food, Cena chow, and it you know. But overall, hopefully Lesnar wins. I actually do not know where they're going with this right now. I don't.
Well, I gotta tell
Parts of me doesn't want to care. But, you know,
I got to tell you, A-Track,
I'm a journalist.
Yes, we all are. I got to tell you, that is a perfect segue to the Rusev Bachka. Rusev versus Big Show. Perfect segue again. Again, did not expect this match to kind of go. I mean, I knew Rusev was going to win. I didn't think he was going to win this way. Basically, long story short, and I want to know if you guys agree with me. When Mark Henry came ringside, did you not think Mark Henry would turn on Big Show? Number one, I'm going to ask you guys. And number two, Rusev makes the Big Show tap out, which was, I didn't think it was going to happen. Rusev, I think, comes off looking ridiculously strong.
A monster.
In this match. He looked great. He was believable. Rusev became believable to me right off the jump when he hit Big Show with that suplex.
Hell yeah.
Yo, that was sick.
Good A-Track.
That suplex was sick. I wasn't the match to me wasn't like exciting, but when I did watch it, I said this was Rusev's best match since he fought Big E. When he fought Big E, that was a pretty good match. But he had a really good showing here. Those kicks were awesome. You know, and all three of them didn't come off like exactly clean, but it was awesome. One thing I didn't see, and I was like, I have to watch this again. I didn't even see the Big Show tap out. I thought he passed out.
No, he did. He was tapping out, but there was a blind side of the camera.
Just the tap. But
Yeah.
I tweeted a sarcastic comment saying, Mark Henry, I wonder how he's going to get involved in this Rusev versus Big Show match. Because I thought, you know, like you thought, I thought he was going to turn heel,
right,
which might happen tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll probably do it anyway.
It's on its way. And yet again, something else that we're seeing for like the fourth, fifth, sixth time. You know, it's like, come on. So, but yeah, Rusev, he had a really good showing.
All right, Billy Ray?
Yeah, you know, I thought it was a good match, man. I thought just like you that Rusev looked incredible coming out of this match. Not only did he take out the Big Show, but he took out Mark Henry at the same time. But he kicked both of them in the face. And you know what? They did add that little thing with Mark Henry because Mark Henry came out to cheer on the Big Show and he tells him, you got him. And then you see Big Show go, hey, I got this, man. And he walks in the ring and that's when Rusev took over. So I think that's going to be the little, like, you know, tension between Show and Mark Henry. Now, in Rusev making the Big Show humble, it was going to happen. He had to make him humble. He had to put him on that camel clutch, break his back, and watch him a tap out.
Make him humble.
Make him a humble. It had to happen. And I'm glad it happened because, you know, Big Show should serve this role like Mark Henry should serve the role. And now they can go ahead and wrestle each other while Rusev goes on to something else.
Okay, now, here's the deal. My question to you guys is, how do you keep Rusev, how do you keep him undefeated to WrestleMania, where eventually, I believe that Rusev and people think I'm crazy for saying this. I'm telling you. You know who it's gonna be? You know who's gonna end that damn streak? It's gonna be Hulk freaking Hogan. Hulk Hogan, I swear to you guys, it's gonna be Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan, brother, is gonna defend the honor. It's not gonna be Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It's not gonna be Sergeant Slaughter. It's not. Who else is out there? What other Americans?
Ken Patera.
And Patera's gonna make a comeback.
Dale Wilkes, bring back the Patriot.
The Patriot, yes, the Patriot will come back. No, people think I'm nuts. I think if Hulk Hogan has his last hurrah, it will be in defense and honor of the United States, and I think Hulk Hogan will land the big leg, finally breaking his hip, and defeating Rusev and taking out the big bad Russian or the Bulgarian brute. Anyway,
he is the real American.
But how the hell do we keep him undefeated?
That's how you keep him undefeated.
Well,
you bring in
black people. That's for one thing. So they're gonna have to usher in more people for him to beat. I mean, you can only beat R-Truth so many times.
Right.
Maybe they might have a new feud again with Kofi this time, and they'll build up Kofi just to have him lose.
It's gonna happen.
Who knows? They're just gonna keep doing the same thing. They're gonna keep having him go after people. Maybe he starts a feud with Adam Rose and he makes that bunny humble, and I know that'll make a few people happy. It would definitely make me happy.
I would love that stupid. And I'm so glad. I am so glad that WWE. I'm glad they came to Brooklyn. Guys. I know people all over the world watch these videos, and let me tell you something. I'm from New York. We're all from New York. All three of us are from New York City, or the 5 boroughs. And the fact is that I'm glad WWE came to Brooklyn because they got what they freaking deserved.
Yeah.
They got embarrassed on national television when you had the stupid little stuffed alligator against the stupid stuffed bunny, the stupid what was it? Not even a bunny. There's so many animals. What was it? It was a freaking what do you call it? A bull. Oh my God.
Lions, tigers, bears. Oh my.
It's just, I'm glad WWE has gone away from this. And ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, I want to apologize for the video quality. It's a long story, but the content is what's important. So we keep this guy undefeated till WrestleMania. Who do you think ends his? Because he's not going to be undefeated. I mean, this isn't Bill Goldberg. Billy Ray.
It's supposed to be John Cena.
That's what they say, but I don't see it.
It's supposed to be John Cena, but there's a bunch of people. It could be Kurt Angle if they sign him. That'll be
I think Kurt Angle signed to.
He already signed to TNA.
I believe so.
I want to cry.
Me on that. Don't quote me on that.
That would have been awesome to have him come in and wrestle Rusev. But if it's not Cena, Hulk Hogan is the best suggestion I've heard.
Come on, let's be real. Come on, A-Track. Let's be real, okay?
I can see that happening. I just can't see Hogan dropping a leg.
Oh, he'll drop a leg. And the leg will fall off, but he'll land it. Now, A-Track, think about this. Can you picture Rusev the night before WrestleMania? No match is scheduled. Nobody knows whatever. He takes out the guy he's supposed to wrestle at WrestleMania, and all of a sudden you hear that music. I am a real American. Yeah. And you see Hulk Hogan come out.
They would lose their minds.
Let me tell you something, brother.
I would lose my mind.
What are you gonna do?
People would pop bigger for Hogan when they.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Nice.
People would pop bigger for Hogan than they would for Cena or anyone for that matter. Anyone. The only person I could think of who get a bigger pop than Hogan, besides The Rock when he came out, is Kurt Angle. But if what you say is true, Kurt Angle, might not be the guy. But ultimately, I'm still saying that dude is, he's seen his food. That's his main course. But I would love to see it be Hogan over Cena. Anybody over Cena.
What about The Rock?
Nah, I don't like that.
I don't mind The Rock, but it's like, what do we need to see that for?
Oh, hey. You know what I just thought of?
What's that?
Who has been allegedly training for a comeback?
Stone Cold.
Could you imagine him on that four-wheeler with a big American flag hanging out the back?
Yep.
That would be crazy. Stone Cold. Stone Cold! All right, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little excited. That actually, you know what? That would be pretty awesome.
I can hear JBL now. Oh, it's Stone Cold, Michael. Oh, we're going to get some now.
I think that would be awesome. All right, guys, listen. Now we're going to move on to what I call the bathroom break match of the night. AJ Lee versus Paige for the Divas Championship. And I don't want to spend too much time on this. We have the crazy Alicia Fox in the corner of Paige. Paige actually taps out to AJ's whatever the hell it's called. What's her finisher? The Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yes. Black Widow, and apparently, I guess. Oh well, what happened was now one good spot or decent spot where you had AJ Lee. She was gonna get superplexed from the barricade on into the audience, I guess, and she gets dropped straight on her back outside the ring. Now she's all hurt, and Alicia Fox takes it upon herself to pick her up and throw her into the ring, and she wasn't fully recovered. She had a 10 count. I think she threw her in the ring around 6 or 7, and well, she basically got taken out. So AJ Lee retains the title. Now, after the match, basically, we had Paige turn on her friend Alicia Fox. So there we see a few going that way. AJ Lee goes this way. So which way are they going with these ladies? Are we gonna have Brie Bella? Are we gonna have Nikki now go for that championship? I think so. Billy Ray?
I think Paige is going to Total Diva Land, and AJ Lee, I don't know where she's going, but she's not going to Total Diva Land, which means she'll probably be the Divas champion for the foreseeable future. This match was it left a lot to be desired, man. You know, these two girls can go, but they just haven't done it for me. Anytime they've gotten together in the ring,
they don't have chemistry. No chemistry.
Yeah, it just went nowhere really fast. A-Track
Brown.
I'm here.
Say
this
something.
was my face during the whole match.
Speak up a little bit.
This was my face during the whole match.
Really?
It insists upon itself, Big Ray.
Mm-hmm.
It insists upon itself. I don't care. I don't know, and I don't care. I'll tell you one thing. I love Paige. I'm tired of AJ.
Right.
The skipping is old and annoying.
Right.
Even though it's supposed to be annoying, that's you're supposed to hate that, which makes me confused because she's supposed to be a face, or is she a tweener? Who knows? Quite frankly, AJ, as good as she can be, she can also be sloppy when it comes to another female who's better than her.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense to you or the people out there, but that's what I've noticed. When she's in there with somebody who's a bum, she does really well. And you're right, the chemistry between them is not there. And I think, I know a lot of people love AJ. This is my opinion. Paige is better than AJ.
Oh yeah.
Paige, if one day they can bring up Emma back to where she was, and they have a feud, and even if they gave them 4 minutes, the whole match would be awesome. Even if it was like 4 minutes, it would be awesome. Hopefully, when Charlotte sometime soon makes the main roster, Paige and Charlotte will be good. But for some reason, I can't see AJ putting on a 5-star match with a 5-star diva because she just doesn't. No. So far, she's been in there with girls who can wrestle, and they haven't really been impressive or exciting. I got excited when I watched Paige wrestle because she does moves that are just on point. But when she's in there with Paige, when she's in there with AJ, it just gets lost. And I don't know why. It just interests me. Okay. And as good as both of these women look, oh my God, it bothers me.
Okay.
And I wish they would, hopefully the next few will be a hell of a lot better. And to the credit of Nikki Bella, if she does go after AJ, it might be good because you can see the not so much desperation, but she's putting effort into trying to be more than what she is.
She's good.
So hopefully something can come out of that.
All right, Billy Ray, you want to say something before we move on? I didn't want to spend too much time on this.
Nah, we're good, man. I said what I needed to say on that. Hey, but I do want to bring up that we missed Miz versus Sheamus. I don't know if we want to cover that.
Oh, let's cover that match. I'm sorry, that's my bad. And you know what's funny? The funny thing is that I really enjoyed this match.
Did you really?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Number one, my opinion, I think, and I've always loved Damien Sandow. I think Damien Sandow is freaking awesome. I wish they would have kept him in that role where he was that that person that looks down on you. I think he's fantastic. He's very good in the ring. Basically, look. Long story short, it was funny. There were some really funny things for me personally. It may not be funny to you, but when you had Sheamus, holding Miz and he's hitting him on the chest, and you see Sandow actually reenacting.
That's great.
I thought it was hilarious. And then, all right, so basically, look. Long story short, Miz gets the bro kick. He gets pinned. 1, 2, 3. Now after the match is where I chuckled, and this is where why don't you tell us Billy Ray what happened after the match, what transpired.
Well, this is my problem with the match. The match itself sucked.
Think so?
If Sandow wasn't out there,
right?
If Sandow wasn't out there, it'd be a complete loss.
Sandow's awesome.
Yes, he saved this match being an incredible stunt double.
He is the intellectual savior of the WWE.
And he's the best stunt double I've ever seen.
He is.
Quite frankly. I mean, he was selling stuff better than The Miz, and he wasn't even in the ring. So at the end of the match, after Miz was laid out, Sheamus picked up his arms, and so Mizdow did the same and shook him around, and Mizdow did the same, and then they ended up somehow doing a whole YMCA, and the crowd got into it. Mizdow was doing it. Mizdow is the saving grace of this match, and it's good and it's bad, because I hope they do something with him, but it seems like he's stuck into that comedic role, and he may go nowhere. But as far as the match goes, in ring, it was boring. It was all Mizdow outside.
Right. What I honestly feel, and I'm gonna ask your opinion before we move on to the main event of the evening. And again, guys, I apologize for skipping this match. What I feel is that I have a feeling. Now, hear me out. I have a feeling that Damien Sandow is gonna be put in a match. This is what I see, or this is the way I would book it. I see. Let's say whatever. Let's say the Miz is scheduled to fight Sheamus, and he just doesn't want to do it. So he sends his stunt double in there, and I see Mizdow winning the title.
Yeah.
Which pisses off the Miz, because he's saying, "You're my stunt double. I'm the champion." Takes the belt from him. You know what I'm saying? And they can go that route and start a feud between them there, turning obviously Damien Sandow babyface, which I think would be great for him right now, even though I like him better as a heel. But
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mizdow is going to win a title, and he's not going to want to give it up to Miz, and that's where it's going to start.
All right,
A-Track.
A-Track, really quickly, A-Track.
I thought the match was kind of boring. It did suck. I did, for some reason, I was a little more impressed with the Miz with his in-ring work. A little bit. I know people give him a hard time, but I've always liked him. He's a solid guy in the ring, and Sheamus is Sheamus. And yes, Mizdow stole the show. I agree with what you said, Big Ray, but the thing that I don't agree with is him winning. I see them sticking to the old WWE routine. The Mizdow turns face. He'll fight him, but not for the belt. Beat him. Mm-hmm. Then fight him for the belt again. Lose, become a babyface, shake hands, kisses the babies or whatever, and just fades away. Becomes a typical face jobber. That's what I see. Not because I want it to happen, but that's the way these people operate.
Right. No, Damien Sandow is so much better as a heel. He's just smart, and he's so good in the ring.
They had a gem with him. They did. They still do if they did something.
If they played it right, yeah, they still do. I mean, he can always be a tweener and just kind of like, you know how WWE sometimes they have a guy kind of turn babyface, and all of a sudden, like the Miz, they did it to him like 5 times. Like, you think he's a face, but then all of a sudden he's not, and I don't know, whatever. I would keep him. I would somehow find a way of keeping him heel.
See, the thing is, what face gimmick would you give? Sandow that's going to keep people interested. He can't beat a Mizdow forever.
No, he can't.
Right. It's just scary.
All right, so now, guys, we have very limited time. We have about 5 minutes to cover this. So we have the main event of the evening, Dean Ambrose. This is a non-title match, technically. Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell. Now, the way this match started, which is the way I was glad. I wanted the match to start this way, which was Dean Ambrose on top of the cage with a kendo stick, going at the new cronies, I guess you would call them, with what's his face and what's his name, the cruiserweight division. But
Noble.
but dude, man, this was, I felt this was a better use of the Hell in a Cell. Now, I was scared, and I'm gonna tell you why I was scared. Yeah, I know you guys know. I'm just gonna break this really quickly down. So, number one, they're no Mick Foley. They didn't go all the way to the top of the cage and go through the table, but they were fighting somewhere mid-level through the cage, midway through the cage, on top of the cage, and halfway up, and they go through the tables. And that's where I thought the match was gonna end, and the pay-per-view was gonna go off. And I got upset, and I got nervous, and I got worried. But it didn't. It continued, and I was happy. Dean Ambrose quickly getting out of the stretcher, because they were both put on stretchers, and Dean Ambrose attacks, and they move on, and they had a really good match. Anything that stuck out to you in this match, Billy Ray, before we go over the finish?
When when Ambrose went straight to the top of that cage, it was fine, but then everybody got up there, and they were all standing on one particular spot of that cage, and I was waiting for it to give way. Right. It was scaring the crap out of me, because I just remember Undertaker putting Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, whatever you want to call him, through that cage, and it just scares me. And then Seth Rollins was backing up at one point. I don't know if he knew how close to the edge of that cage he was.
For real?
He didn't.
But it scared the crap out of me. I just wanted them to come back down. And you knew they were going to go through the tables, because all the monitors were gone.
Right.
So you knew they were going through those tables.
Yeah.
And then they came, they brought the action back in the ring. Dean Ambrose got up out of the stretcher and attacked Seth Rollins.
Right.
And the match was good. I thought it was interesting when he threw all the chairs in the ring. This is Dean Ambrose, reminded me of Terry Funk in ECW when he threw all those chairs. All those chairs came in the ring. It was just reminiscent of that. And what's his face? Michael Cole tried to do his best Jim Ross impression.
He did.
during this match. I mean, it was just corny, but whatever. A-Track, go ahead.
A-Track, go ahead, buddy.
The beginning of it was very cool. It felt like they were kind of doing a little bit homage to the Undertaker and Mick Foley thing. I would say overall that these guys did what they were allowed to do. It felt like they would have done more if they would have let them. I think that they just gave them a little bit of leeway. At least that's how I felt. And after the first 5-6 minutes of the match, when they got in the ring after the chair spot, I was just sitting there like, okay, let me see something. It felt that they didn't use that cage as much as they should have on both accounts.
No blood.
Like exactly, no blood. Like no blood during Cena and Orton. Okay, if you felt that they were going to give you blood in this one, it should have been that way. That's what we were supposed to see. We were supposed to see some blood, because these two hate each other, and it didn't really go down like that. So after like the first 6 minutes of the match, after a while it was just good spot here, good spot there, and then of course the ending, which left all of us like, huh?
Well, let me just quickly go over the ending really quickly. So, first and foremost, I thought I had some technical issues with my WWE Network, because it went black, and I said to myself, what the hell is going on? But then once I heard the Latin, I guess it was the Latin language being spoken, not Spanish, but Latin, I believe it was some type of, anyway, foreign language.
I said Creole. That's what I thought.
Fine. Spoken by, and I knew it was Bray Wyatt. The lights come on. They had this really, they had the what was it?
Lantern.
The lantern, and the smoke was coming up. They had this cool little, what do you call that damn thing that you see?
Hologram.
The hologram in the smoke, which was pretty cool. You saw Bray Wyatt come in and attack Dean Ambrose, hitting, which was like almost like a rock bottom, taking out Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins pins him.
Slam.
Yes, exactly. And then a weird way of going off the air because Seth Rollins gets the pin. We have Bray Wyatt in the ring, and Bray Wyatt hits Sister Abigail, and apparently Bray Wyatt is back in the main event picture, I guess, or the upper mid card. But what a way to really take a warm dump on this pay-per-view that I thought was actually a good pay-per-view, and it was a good match. I just don't understand why the hell the, Billy Ray.
I felt the same way, man. I couldn't have put it better with the warm dump thing, man. I just didn't know where to go from there. You know, it's cool that they reintroduced Bray Wyatt into the main event picture, but they could have done something different. They could have done it at another time. I wanted to see a different type of finish. I wanted to see either Dean Ambrose go over or Seth Rollins go over on their own reconnaissances, not because Bray Wyatt came in out of the blue, you know, and the chanting, it was weird. I mean, was there any reference to this in past Monday Night Raws of him speaking Latin
No.
or something like that? No, I mean, it just came out of the blue. It was kind of weird, you know. So I didn't like it, man. I didn't like the ending of it. It really left a lot to be desired,
Left a bad taste in your mouth. A-Track?
like a warm dump.
I don't I don't know what language that was. You see my little Indian right there?
Yeah.
When he started speaking that language, it started vibrating and moving.
Ooh.
So now I'm dealing with a poltergeist. Thank you, WWE.
Thank you,
Second-
WWE, for allowing evil spirits into our apartments,
Exactly.
Nice.
homes.
And it's around Halloween time, so how about them apples? Second, I thought the hologram was going to end up saying, "What up, Dre? What up, Snoop?"
Uh-huh.
I was like, "What the hell is this?" It was original. I haven't seen something like that. Not so much original, but I haven't seen them do something like that since way back in the Undertaker days. But like what Billy Ray said, it made no sense. It should have been something that they could have saved for Monday Night Raw.
Right.
Because now I'm almost convinced that Monday Night Raw is probably not going to really be all that good.
Right.
You know, the interaction between Bray and Dean is going to be epic. Like, I don't see how they can possibly mess this up because they let Bray say what he does. He does his own thing as far as the stuff that he says. But the match itself was going, like I said, it was like, and then it went to, so what? So you're trying to figure out what's this all about, and I guess it'll explain tomorrow. But it just it wouldn't have made Seth Rollins look weak if he would have lost.
Right.
Because remember, he has that Money in the Bank briefcase, and there have been people with that briefcase who've lost, and it didn't matter because you felt that they're going to cash in and win, unless he's not going to cash in and win.
Right.
But either way, he doesn't lose anything. He's still that heel. He's still that person that people hate, and he doesn't lose anything. You kind of let this character of Dean Ambrose lose a little bit. Yeah, it took Bray Wyatt to do it, and now we're gonna have a meeting of the minds like you've never seen before with these two. But it really didn't have a solid ending. That wasn't a solid ending like I thought it should have been.
Well, the one positive I am going to take away from this is that, number one, Seth Rollins is going to go on and do his own thing. You know, Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt, I think it's going to be a really good feud because in ring, those guys can go, and on the mic, those guys can go. So, you know, it's a way of kind of, you know, keeping Dean Ambrose away from that World Heavyweight title picture and still keeping him relevant, at the same time building Bray Wyatt back up to a main eventer, at the same time keeping Seth Rollins at the top. So everybody ends up on top. I think we're going to get some really good wrestling with these guys. And, all right, listen, guys, all in all, and let's give me, out of 10, Billy Ray, out of 10, A-Track, out of 10, Ray, what do you think of this pay-per-view? Billy Ray, out of 10.
6 out of 10. It started off hot, cooled off, and then it turned out to be a warm dump. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay, A-Track.
I give it a 4.5.
Good Lord.
Wow, really?
Because it soured me in the beginning and it soured me at the end. I'm sorry, I'm on my heel thing right now because I was not. It's hard to explain, like, and I'm not trying to be hard on purpose on these dudes, you know. It's just, you know, it's something that started off real good, and then it disappointed you, and then it didn't go from good, disappointing, okay, disappointing. It went good, okay, disappointing, disappointing, good. Oh, what?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm sour. That's the word of the night for me. Hashtag sour.
That's fair, and I'm gonna actually give it a 6 out of 10 also. Billy Ray, I thought it wasn't horrible, but I thought it wasn't great. I thought it was a pretty good pay-per-view. Um, uh, the two Divas matches killed it for me, and the main event ending of the match, if
Yeah.
it would have ended any other way, I could have given it a 7.
Yeah, me
Maybe
too.
maybe even no, not an 8, 7.5.
No.
But I tell you, man, the ending really killed it. Hopefully tomorrow night, or depending on when you're watching this, the following Raw after this pay-per-view will explain to us what's going on, clarifying things. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been our recap of WWE Hell in a Cell 2014. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can always find us here at One Wrestling. You can follow us on Twitter at One Wrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Follow my tag team partner, Andre Corbeil, TNA Reporter at Andre_Corbeil. Follow You Got the Show, Bill Schuyler on Twitter, again at You Got the Show. Of course, the legend Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. Billy Ray Valentine, you can follow him at Billy Ray Hustle. A-Track Brown, you can follow him at Pharaoh of Fancy on Twitter. And of course, don't forget to find my friends on the Pro Wrestling Hustle podcast on Podbeam or on iTunes. Ladies and gentlemen, parental discretion is advised when listening to that podcast, but it is funny, it is good, it is smart, talk some good wrestling along with their partner, of course, the Professor. What's his Twitter handle? You know off the top of your head?
No, I don't, and that's because I have a very limited space in my mind. I have no idea. It's something like Prof Hustle or something. Or
Right,
other.
that's fine. But ladies and gentlemen, again, I say this every single time I do a video. I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling, and in the words of my mentor, Bill Apter, guys, we will see you at the matches.